Greetings! Today we discuss the first tour ever to a leg Three-Haw, the worst kind of birds, and the best kind of birds. And so much more on this episode of
Ahoy boogers, and welcome back to Bear Ghost Invents the Podcast. This is the podcast where we explore the who's its and what's its galore of the inner workings of Bear Ghost. I've got all the gang with me. I got drummer Buttons.
What up, homie? I'm Buttons.
I got bass player Do.
What up, homie? I'm bass player Do.
And we got the affable Tigbot.
Hello.
You sound really tired.
Well, you left me plugged when you went on tour.
Oh no! Oh no! Buttons, that's you're
Wait,
in
hold
charge
on.
of.
Let me check here. Hold
Yeah,
on.
you're the IT guy.
Your running time is 3 weeks. Have we not rebooted you, dude?
It feels like a lifetime.
Oh my God, we got to reboot Tigbot.
I've never been
I'm so
awake for
sorry.
more than an hour.
Sometimes he and I watch movies together.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We went skydiving together too. He was awake for that.
Yeah.
All right. I guess let's power Tigbot down.
Right
Just
now?
quick reboot.
Yep. Just a quick reboot. How long does a quick reboot take?
Like 30 seconds.
Oh, nice. Here we go. Any last words?
Sorry, Tigbot.
Okay. Now, how do we turn him back on?
The rocker switch on the
Hi,
side.
I'm Tigbot.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Okay. I don't know how power works, but that was too much energy. So maybe if we take his plug-in power cord and just unplug it a little bit. Is that how you make things run?
Yeah, probably.
Partially plugged into
We'll plug
the
it
wall.
into something that's not made for the amount of voltage that
Yeah,
it uses.
exactly.
And it'll be fine, right?
Like wood.
It's vacation week.
Vacation week. What does that mean?
It means we're not talking about a song.
Oh, wow. What a vacation.
We're only talking about our vacations that we've been on.
Well, that would be nice. We should talk about some vacations.
Okay, start.
Okay, one time I went to the Tetons. I haven't been there yet. I don't know why I said that. We are not talking about a cover song because we record all these episodes out of order. The last episode that we recorded, When I'm Dead, was recorded, 2 months ago. And then The Sorcerer's Apprentice was recorded right before we left on tour. Many fans that were at the shows will know that I blew my voice out pretty much right at the beginning of the tour. And to avoid long-term damage, I'm still trying to rest and recover to make sure that I'll be able to sing. So I can't go into the studio and record a cover right now.
He's not even talking about when you go to a show and you sing a lot and after the show you're like, oh man, I got no voice because I've been singing my heart out all night. It's like he actually...
I hurt my vocal cords, and it wasn't like my voice was hoarse after the show. It was literally like I was in the middle of the show being like,
There were 2 shows that we played that you pretty much just had to scream the whole set.
which is not good for you when
No,
your voice is
no.
hurting. I'm not even sure what caused me to blow my voice out because I didn't feel like I was particularly pushing it too
You
hard.
never had this problem before, though, which is crazy.
Well, I mean, on the CD release show,
You got sick.
I got sick like the day before, and
Yeah.
then my voice was just gone. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened.
You had told me after one of the really cool shows with a cool crowd, and you were just like, I think I just got excited and just forgot to sing with my diaphragm, and I was just torching my throat the whole time.
Yeah, that can kind of happen. And I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I do so many things. But when you're spinning around and trying to be engaging and talk and play the guitar and sing, I'm not particularly good at remembering to do things in the first place. So I've talked a million times on this podcast about how I feel like I'm relatively new to singing. And diaphragm singing came late even into my singing career. So
Well, and I remember when we were first learning about it, we could not figure out how to do it at first. It takes practice to do it correctly.
you gotta sing from where you poop.
Yeah.
The fans
Your
were the fans were really cool about my voice being gone. The first night it was kind of freeing. I'm just gonna suck so I can just focus on playing guitar well, but I didn't do that good either. So
Trip on your own pedal board, too.
oh my gosh, the amount of times I tripped on things and messed things up on this tour was crazy.
I was watching footage from that show.
Are
all
you
by
talking about the
accident.
show where I slipped on my pedal board?
Yes.
Oh, because it was
Yeah.
probably a small stage.
It was a very small stage.
I
yeah.
slipped on my pedal board and it was like a banana peel. And I somehow, even though my pedal board is 2 foot by 1 foot, I somehow managed to hit every single pedal on it and then kicked my microphone into the
Yeah.
crowd.
And almost fall into the crowd.
Yep. And then I got back up and then I was like, I'll just keep playing. But my guitar was wildly out of tune and
all the
all my
pedals
pedals
were-
were messed up. So
Did you fall on your throat?
Maybe that's what happened.
yeah,
because
I think you're onto something, Tigbot.
when he started falling into the crowd, people caught him, but someone had a knife in their hand.
Yeah, I get stuck right in the throat. Because of all of that, we are not going to talk about a song this week. We are going to instead just talk about the tour. We're going to kind of run you guys through. This is our third headlining tour, the third leg of our first tour ever tour.
We had 2 openers this time.
We had 2 opening acts.
We had a
And
band that was traveling with us.
It was the most touring experience a band could
Ever have.
have. Yeah.
No band has toured more than
we're better at touring than Radiohead. We can talk about that now. That was a clusterfuck. We uploaded the
no.
wrong version of Paranoid Android. So when it came out, it was unmastered and so quiet. And so everyone was just like, hey, this is fucked up. This really sucks. Who did this? That was sad to roll out a song and just have it be like the worst possible version.
well, and then like we reached out to the distributor to be like, hey, let's fix this. And they're like, 3 weeks.
Yeah. So the regular version of Paranoid Android should be up now.
We were on the road with limited resources and there wasn't a whole lot we could do about it.
Yep.
we
So
just kind of were like,
I really thought this was a really fun tour, and it had a lot of interesting things that we hadn't really had on tour before. Like, for instance, having a band tour in our van with us. That was Redwood. They literally could not have been more amazing, more fun. They never shut the fuck up, ever.
lads.
And it's always like jeering and, like making fun of each other or like quoting. They're always quoting good shit, which is really nice. But what sucked is I was on vocal rest for most of the tour, so I didn't get to fucking talk to them like half the time.
you were talking to them through like a little AI
your
chatbot.
Yeah, Tigbot. The amount of times I had full-on conversations where somebody would say a sentence to my face, and I'd put my finger up and then go and like type out a whole response.
Yeah, you shut up now, so I can
Pretty
finish.
much. But honestly, it was kind of a nice exercise because I like ended up listening way more, and my anxiety didn't fill the void with just nonsense. I make jokes so frequently. If I spit out like 50 jokes a minute and 3 of them are funny, then I'm funny 3 times a minute. And people aren't really paying attention to the 47 times I'm not funny. But this really led me to only make 3 jokes a minute.
Them coming all the way from the UK to do like a partial US tour with us, we were just like, it's costing you guys so much money to come over here. Just ride with us. You can share our gear. And it was just easier for everybody.
It was awesome, though. I feel like we made such genuine connections with them, which we don't do often.
No.
We don't really make connections outside of our insulated friend group.
We hate everybody,
We hate them.
especially the Harold Boogers.
Yeah. F- you, Harold Boogers. That was like a weird thing coming home and talking to my fiance, and I was like, I wish I was marrying Redwood.
I don't think I've seen any of them like
Naked?
like yeah, or sad.
They're
Be
always
with us.
clothed and happy.
Yeah. Not to mention they're all like damn good-looking guys. It's like, man, I felt so inadequate.
They're all so tall.
Yeah.
What's going on? Anyways, it won't be the last time that we tour with them. Hint, hint, wank, wank. And I want to just really quick thank our fans, because our fans were so good to Redwood. Every band says it. I think they're obligated to say it. Like, oh, we have the best fans. But those guys are all f***ing stupid. Like, every other band that says that is a dumb piece of shit.
Yeah.
Every single one of them that I've met has been amazing. Our crowd experience is always really fun, but they're there for the opening bands. They're giving them love. They're buying merchandise and stuff like that, and that doesn't always happen.
No.
I've been to shows where people were just pissed off that there were opening bands. This opening band sucks. When are they going to get to the real music? Like, the headlining band's going to go on and be like, you know what? You're right. I respect you more because you hated these people that we brought on with us. I'm going to try and convince my future wife to let me build a treehouse in the backyard for the Redwood boys to live in. I think they'll like that.
I think we should go live with them instead.
That's a good idea. Let's get out of the U.S.
And we can eat beans and toast every day.
I already do.
We also had Sarah in the Safe Word, who we did not know before we went out. Because we met the Redwood boys while we were touring with the Deer Hunter. And we knew right then and there that we wanted to make them our pets. And which they were all too happy to accommodate. I mean, Alex has real golden retriever energy.
He
so
really does.
He does. I'm trying to think of what the other boys would be.
Jim actually reminds me more of a cat.
You think so?
One of those cats that looks at you like he's an asshole, but then he's like, please touch me. I love it when you touch me.
Okay, so Andrew and I were in the hotel room next to him, and everybody else had left his hotel room to go find food. And Andrew and I were laughing about something, and I get a text from Jim, and he's like, I can hear you laughing. Can you not? And I was, oh, sorry, dude. We were just talking mad shit about you, and it was just too funny. So then he was just, oh, yeah, totally. I was doing that in here, too. And then he sends me this video of the whole empty room, and then him neatly tucked into bed, and he just like, please don't be mean. Because I was on vocal rest, everyone was trying to get me to break vocal rest all the time. And I remember Jim being like, Ryan, say nothing if you're a... weird guy. And damn it, I broke so hard.
I'm not weird.
No, you're weird. But it wasn't just them. Like I felt a kinship with the blokes that they brought on tour with them as well.
Yeah.
Andy and Josh, they were so sweet.
They were fantastic.
Guys.
Oh yeah, but we were talking about Sarah and the safe word.
Yeah.
They were fine.
We had not met them. We got paired together by our booking agency.
Our booking agent was just like, we're thinking Sarah, and we're like, hey, well, that sounds good.
But it's always scary doing a long-term commitment thing with a band that you've never met because you don't know what kind of people they are.
You might show up to meet the band and find out they're fronted by fucking Harold Boogers.
But they were just beautifully lovely people.
Oh my
and
gosh.
so easy to get along
I
with.
loved every conversation I had with any of them. I mean, Sarah and I were talking Kingdom Hearts shop.
Oh yeah,
bunch.
you guys were like, I felt like every show you guys were talking something about Kingdom Hearts or Japan or.
And then Keenan, the way he runs their whole setup, I was just constantly fascinated with. So initially, it was just my in was to ask him about all the stuff that he'd accomplished. But then after that, it was talking about music. It was talking about everything. I enjoyed all of them so much. And Leica was such a sweetie, and Jeff is such a sweetie. Their merch person was such a sweetie. Like
Emma,
yeah.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed the whole crew so much. They put on a killer
Oh my
show
God.
too.
Sarah is like a commanding presence.
I love the way they ended their set. She'd make them applaud and then make them be quiet, make them applaud, then make them be quiet. After the last time she makes them be quiet, she just throws the mic off the stage and walks off. Yeah. and there's no applause.
Yeah,
So
there's
she leaves
no
the stage.
climax whatsoever.
It's fucking radical.
I missed them already.
Me too. This was a fun tour, and it was cool getting to meet everybody. This was the first tour where we did paid meet and greets, which I don't know. It was kind of a weird thing between our agent and the venues that we've talked to, where it was just we can't stay behind after a show ends at 11:30 and meet 200 people anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Because most of the venues want us out by midnight at
yeah.
the latest. And the last couple legs of the tour, we were pushing 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
A little after 1 when we got there. And then by the time that we would get all of our stuff in the van, get some food, because we usually hadn't eaten in like 7 or 8 hours, and then get to the hotel, get to sleep, it's 3 or 4 in the morning. And then we're back in the van at 8 or 9 and driving however many hours the next, like it was just not working. So it was kind of a necessary evil that we weren't super excited about, but we're still glad that people enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the experience.
Yeah.
Speaking about our fans being the best people in the world, people gave us such sweet and thoughtful gifts. I have more.
They had to pay to give you gifts.
Yeah, they paid. Well, I'm gonna go kill myself. That's crazy. People paid to give us gifts. We got so many bracelets. We're definitely gonna be like decorating our podcast
I got a
studio
ton
and
this
with all
time.
the stuff. We got some tremendous artwork. People made us Bear Ghost stuffed animals. We got the Jiminy Moth stuffed animals. We got
Crocheted.
How many Tigbot ones?
we didn't get any Tigbot stuffed animals, but I have Tigbot
Wait,
bracelets
oh
for you.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
there are
did see
Tigbot
that.
bracelets.
That is cool.
We had people actually asking for you. Where's Tigbot? Why isn't Tigbot with you? Speaking of gifts that we got, one of the first gifts at the first meet and greet was these little keychain attachments that had little custom things that were for us that were just like, why, yes, I am the bass player, Andrew from Bear Ghost. We each got one that was custom for us, but they included a little tiny mini Sharpie on the keychain, and holy shit, did I use that.
I used
Oh,
the
yeah.
heck out of that.
I used
Thank
it
you.
constantly every day. So it was so awesome that happened at the first show.
But the meet and greets were very fun. People had like nice, thoughtful questions. Most people were very excited to meet us. We also had somebody walk up at a meet and greet, and the first thing they did was stick a straw in their armpit and blow out a fart sound. And
Okay.
which I was like,
Talent.
And then gave us all our individual straws to try it as well. The first 4 shows, we had some radical weather. And some
Oh,
people got
geez.
like flooded out and couldn't even get to the show.
Yeah.
and some people didn't do the show because they were just outside surfing that radical weather. It was like,
was a-
Chaka, bro.
The parking lots were full of boats. Put their boats in the tornado and just rode the tornado to the show. One of the places we went did actually have like legit tornado sirens going off.
Was that Nashville?
I think it was Nashville.
Yeah.
It was the morning, like we weren't there for it, but it was the morning
Yeah.
we were driving there. Like someone in our
Nashville.
Yeah,
Discord
there
was
was
like,
a-
there's sirens going off everywhere.
Speaking of Nashville, I believe that was the first show that I started bringing a fan up on stage.
Yeah.
No.
Was it? No.
Memphis is the show that I started bringing up fans. They're both in Tennessee.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Can you actually look that up for me, Tigbot,
Yeah.
and see if I'm
Hold-
correct?
Hold on. Let me double check.
While he's looking for that, the Nashville show, the Nashville show, which is the one I think you hurt your voice at, that room was so hot that when people left the floor, it looked like it had been flooded. Like it looked
Yeah.
like a pipe had burst and there was water all over the floor. And it wasn't until maybe 20 minutes after the set that I was just like, oh my God, this is just sweat on the floor because of how hot it was in here. I looked over at the sound guy. I was like, does this happen after every show? And he's like, no.
Nashville was cool. It was the so then it would have been Memphis where we had Leon McCree
Yeah, Liam.
come up on stage. He came to 2 shows. He did 2 meet and greets.
Yep.
And
He brought us a whole ass guitar to sign.
the first day he brought half a guitar, and the second day he brought the other half.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Security wouldn't let him in with the whole guitar, so he had to saw it in half.
So the first night he told me that he was a singer, and I was like, "Do you want to sing this next song?" And he was like, "Cool, man."
Yes.
And so he
Memphis and Nashville are the same state.
Thank you, Tigbot. So he came up, and it was just awesome. And from that moment on, I was like, I know that there are bigger bands that do it, but I want to do this at every show. It was so much fun. It's become my favorite part of every single show is having somebody sing Sirens.
And it was a thing that we started doing at every show. And so people probably were just like, oh, this is like a planned thing. They were just going to pick someone out and do this. But the night in Memphis, you were in the middle of the set and your voice was so torched. You were just like, I don't know how I'm going to sing Sirens. And you were just out there doing your thing. And you spontaneously were just like, you do it.
Yeah, and it was super special. Some of those nights, I wouldn't trade those for anything.
Oh,
and
no.
I'll remember them for the rest of my life. People were so excited and so cool and remembered more of the words to Sirens than I do, so that was helpful.
Honey, did we pick up any new games for game night?
No, I'm afraid all we have is this standard deck of playing cards.
Looks like it's Go Fish again.
Not tonight. Introducing Sevens Are Bad, the new, easy-to-play game deemed Eastern Sudan's 118th most popular playing card game. Just set up the cards and you'll be playing in minutes.
John, it's your turn.
Okay, so what do I do?
Stop, John. You're embarrassing yourself. You place your wager, of course.
That's right. I bet the next card is a 7.
Sevens are bad, John!
I bet it's a 3.
It's a 7.
Sevens are bad!
See? Shut up! It's easy. Sevens Are Bad can be enjoyed by up to 52 players.
A pair of 9s. Load them up, John.
Load 'em where?
On your ears, John. God, did you even read the instructions?
Keep 'em balanced!
Place your bets.
I bet the next card is a 5.
I don't take that bet.
Well, I guess you win this round.
And everything else is self-explanatory.
Anyone want to play again?
Yay!
So simple, a dog could understand. John?
Aw, even Rufus wants to play.
Keep 'em balanced.
Aww.
Sevens Are Bad can be played with any standard deck of playing cards. All you need is our 20-pound instruction booklet, which can be purchased from easternsudan.gov for 7 million piastres.
I think this next card must be a 6.
I'll take that bet.
Here we go. Start flipping. No. 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 A 6! Sevens are bad! What's happening?
Damn it, John!
Come on, man.
Fuck you, John!
Go get us some drinks, John.
Any night with Sevens Are Bad is a night you'll truly never forget.
Another game night for the books, huh?
John, I want a divorce.
We did some fun stuff on this one. People asked us to play Hot to Go every night, which we only played it 2 nights. The last night, which was actually planned. The other night, where were we?
I think it was Austin.
We were in Austin, and I don't know, man. This show was just so much fun. We had Jim from Redwood come and play guitar, and then I just sang and invited Alex first
Oh, that's right,
to come
yeah.
up on stage. So he did, and then I pointed at Sarah, and I invited her up, and then kept waving in all the other band members, and it just became like a huge party, and
Yeah,
it was
radical.
So I'm sorry for everybody that didn't get to see us play Hot to Go, but it wasn't prepared. We didn't rehearse it beforehand. I did ask Jim if he wanted to learn it, and he did. He learned it so quickly.
When the video from Austin got posted, there were so many people from previous shows that were just like, we were asking for it. Why didn't you do it at our show? First, it was because we had Jim play it on guitar because Ryan couldn't sing and play it at the same time. Buttons and I had played it together once, not with Jim. And every night it was just like, okay, if we do this, it's going to be the first time we've ever played it all together.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be a disaster. On top of that, Ryan then blew his voice out. So he's just like, I don't want to add another song to the set. And it was just kind of a mess.
It happened one night and it was a lot of fun, and then the next night none of us were like, oh, we can't do this tonight. What I would do instead, and everybody really appreciated it, when people would start getting too commandy with play Hot to Go, I would just start playing Higher by Creed. We would make it all the way through the first chorus, and then I'd be like, that's what's going to happen the next time you guys ask.
Which we did not plan. I think the first time that happened, Ryan started playing that opening riff, and that's as far as the joke was supposed to go. But then Buttons and I just came in with it, and we played all the way through the chorus. And so we did it every time.
Here's what I hated about it. And I mentioned this on stage too, because I wouldn't be able to sing a single word of our songs. And we'd get into that one, and my voice would be flawless every single time.
Well, it's a very low register.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
a,
have to
it's a
sing
low
any
register.
consonants.
Well, and I wasn't singing any of the lyrics either. It was so funny because every time we'd start, it would be like people wouldn't care. But then we go into the verse, and then I'd be like, we'll stop at any time, guys. And people would be like, no. Somebody after the second show came to me, and they were just like, you know what the worst part of your set was? And I was like, what? And they were like, when you stopped playing.
The first show we played that at, one of the comments on our Discord was ever just like, post the higher cover, you cowards.
When people would be yelling out covers for us to play, all I'm hearing from that is that you really enjoyed the cover. And I really appreciate that so much. It's kind of nice to know that people are like paying attention and that they enjoy the covers that we've put out, because otherwise it would be like, why did we do any of this? So thanks, guys.
Speaking of why,
Except for you, Harold Bluegers, fuck off.
speaking of why did we do any of this, we did a Widest Kids You Know sketch on the shows. Yeah.
Wait, what?
So before we would play Rivers as a Vampire, I'd be like, I can't really sing right now. So I'm like hoping you guys will be okay with me reciting something from my favorite Shakespearean play, Hamlet. And people would be like, yeah, or what? And so then we would just do the, oh, Hamlet, 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 and do the whole thing. And then after like 4 times of doing that, I started asking Andrew to play the Hamlet part. So we were both up there doing it. And I think like 4 people on the whole tour picked up that it was from Whitest Kids.
Yeah. There was one show that we finished Rivers, and it was like, bam, 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 bam. And someone was like, listen to the woman, John.
And I was like, what'd you say, Skitty? What'd you say, you fat piece of shit?
And then everybody was shocked that you were yelling at a fan.
Yeah. And I had to be
part
like,
of the sketch.
It's part of the sketch. So there's a show called Widest Kids You Know, and there's this whole sketch about why Abraham Lincoln gets assassinated. And it starts with him watching Hamlet. And I was just quoting the beginning of the Hamlet play.
With vampires.
Yeah. Here's the problem with us doing things like that and me talking so much in between songs. Tucson.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Tucson.
My goodness, I'm so sorry, Tucson. I even knew that we were supposed to keep that show shorter. That was eye-opening for me because we only had an hour-long set, and our manager, Maddox, had to come up to me on the side of the show, and he's like, you guys have one more song, and you can't do the encore bit. We had like 5 songs left to play.
Yeah.
That's how much I had just talked. So I feel really bad for Tucson. Next time you guys come out, we'll make it up to you. I won't say a single word. We'll play 35 songs.
It was a bummer.
Well, that's why after that show, we had to try really hard after every show to make a beeline for the green room so that they could clear out the fans so that we could unload, because we couldn't sit there and like talk to all the fans because there were people that had paid for like a high dollar thing. But at that show, I was like, I'm sitting here and I'm going to talk to every single person because it sucks that they couldn't see more of the Bear Ghost. So I just signed anything that anybody wanted and talked to everybody after that show. But
And after the fact, I felt bad that I didn't do that. So also sorry for that.
well, no, you guys did what you were supposed to do.
I know.
I was the one who didn't.
But-
and then Papa Mau Mau had to come and give me a stern look. For this tour, I made a changeover track between Sarah and the Safe Word and us.
I loved listening to that every night.
It was maybe the best collection of songs ever. I love those songs, but it's going to be the most nostalgic order of songs for me ever. So there was a countdown at the end of our thing. I guess it wasn't loud enough because like people would zealously count down along with it. But I had my fiance record it, and she would clear her throat after 6, and people would just still count down. So she'd be like 6. 5, but people would be on to like 3 by that time. And so then they'd be so confused when they got to 1, and it was still like 4, 3. And then they would start counting in again, but after 2, she'd be like, hold on, they're not ready yet. 1, but people couldn't hear that because they were busy counting down over it. So it was like, it was so funny.
Oh, we were laughing about it every single
listening to the
show.
audience
Yeah.
completely lose track of what was going on.
You guys were asleep for this, but we almost died.
Oh
And,
my
No, I was
goodness.
awake for that.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see what I saw?
So we were on our way to Oklahoma City, and for everybody that was
Is Oklahoma City in Oklahoma? Tigbot,
No.
can you look that up?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
all right, while he's doing that, I'm gonna we were driving to Oklahoma City, and everyone who was at the OKC show or any show after that,
Tigbot, can you look up if OKC is the same thing as Oklahoma City?
Oh man, 2 things at a time. All right.
while he's doing that, all of you need to pause this podcast right now and thank Buttons for saving our lives. We had a car coming at us that was driving maybe 90 miles an hour
Yeah.
the wrong way, like head on
On the freeway.
at our van. And it was close enough to the point where both Ryan and I were just like, if either of us had been driving, we would have freaked out and turned the steering wheel too hard and probably flipped our van and our trailer.
We were just outside the city limits, and it was a 2-lane highway. I see a set of headlights. Sure enough, it was getting bigger and bigger. I'm like, I better get out of the way. And yeah, it was just an old guy in an SUV, just nose to the steering wheel, like probably Magooing it. Didn't even know he was probably going the wrong way.
Second mention of Mr. Magoo in 2 weeks on the Bear Grylls podcast.
The shuttle driver in me just did a quick evasive maneuver, and
Shuttle driver in you. Some of us are born with it.
The heart of a shuttle driver.
Yeah. Anybody out there that's watched any NASCAR knows that most NASCAR drivers were once shuttle drivers.
Yeah, it really builds your finesse.
So he saved our lives,
how many Buc-ee's did we go to?
like 30.
Yeah. And then remember the first time we took Redwood to the first Buc-ee's? We were like kind of hyping it up or whatever, but then they came out like traumatized.
They were so upset every time we pulled into a Buc-ee's. And I think
It's
our
just
manager...
so much America right in your fucking
Yeah, the
face.
epitome of consumerism is just all in one massive facility.
It really is. It's all about consumerism. And if you don't give yourself away to just looking at Buc-ee's merchandise, then there's no reason to be there. Have you ever been to a Buc-ee's, Tig?
No.
Oh, dude.
We've been talking behind the scenes about maybe taking Tigbot with us the next tour. So we'll take him to a Buc-ee's if that happens. And you guys will all get to meet him and give him your bracelets yourself. The Redwood boys were tired of Buc-ee's after day one.
Yeah.
And then the first Buc-ee's that we pulled up to, we just happened to meet Sarah the safe word inside.
Yeah.
And their merch person, Emma, walked past me and they were like, "This is my hell." Yeah, it seems like something we should hate. It's so busy.
Where else in the world has Dr. Pepper zero sugar on tap?
Circle K.
No.
In Arizona. Yes.
I don't like this reality.
So what is this, like the hybrid of Circle K and Disneyland?
Yes, that's literally
That's
what
actually pretty
I would say
spot
it's
on.
closer to the hybrid of QT and Disneyland. They do have a mascot. You can meet him.
Yep.
They sell tons of merchandise of him, but the only place he exists is in these gas stations, and everybody treats it like it's Disneyland. But they sell like sliced brisket and like a bunch of stuff that Tigbot can't eat. And they sing a song every time they put out the brisket. And they have like,
Hey, biscuit on the board.
Sauce on the board.
Sauce on the board. That's what they do. Brian's looking at me like I'm crazy. That's what they do in Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
I am astounded by how bad my memory is sometimes and how good everybody else's memory is. Do we have any Discord questions? What's going on with the Discord over here? Tigbot, have you figured out if Oklahoma City is
Still checking on
okay?
I like this question, so I'll do this one. Diamond Dump asks, who would look the dumbest if they went bald?
Buttons.
Me.
Without a doubt, it's got to be me, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You look good bald.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
works
totally.
for you.
I've been bald since I was 18. Okay. So.
Do has a shape of a head of a regular person. There's better ways to say that.
Your head is shaped like a little bean.
Yeah, but like a bean where the top of it is really small.
One of those small top beans.
I have an unreasonably thick, long neck that my little pea head sits on top of. Again, it looks like my little pea head, like somebody wrapped some rubber bands around the top of it, so it got all smooshed. And now
Little pea head.
I got a smooshed pea head. And so I would look dumb, Diamond Dump, right? Are we all in agreement?
I agree.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right.
Yeah. All right. This is the most important question. Al, taker of teeth, asks, what are your favorite birds?
Asshole! How could you do such a thing?
Yeah, apparently there's some controversy with us answering this question, but I promised we would do it.
Explain to us what this controversy is all about.
I have no idea. The question's popped up in the Discord from this person multiple times. And every time there's at least one person, sometimes a couple that are just like, no, stop it. We're not doing this. I can tell you what Redwood's least favorite bird is.
Yeah, they fucking hate grackles, man. What is going on?
There was a day that they were talking about birds and these cool birds they saw the night before or whatever. And then we pull up to a Buc-ee's. There was a grackle like on top of the trash can. And Jim just looks out the window. He's like, look at this cunt over here. After they'd just been praising birds all day. But because they kept talking about birds and how they liked birds, one of the venues we played at in Texas, there was a lake behind the venue. There were these ducks that were like 4 times the size of ducks that I'm used to seeing, and they had these really weird red faces. And I found out that it's this duck that's indigenous only to southern Texas and parts of Mexico. And it's the only place in the world you can see them. So I was like, look, guys from the UK who like birds, look at this duck that you can't see anywhere else. And all of them were just like, cool.
I just like ducks.
Yeah.
So
great.
much.
Yeah, I was going to pick a duck. I love ducks.
It doesn't matter what kind of duck it is. I like the ones with the little pom-poms on top of their heads. I like the ones that don't have pom-poms on top of their heads.
What's your favorite bird, Buttons?
I think owls are pretty rad.
Owls
are rad.
They're stealth, and the way they hunt is very, very calculated, and they're like ninjas with wings, basically.
They're very smart. And they can do the horror thing where they spin their heads all the way around.
I'm like always afraid that they're gonna swoop.
Yeah.
I just got this. I just got this.
There
owl
is a
repellent.
product.
Yeah. Who not you? Have you heard of him?
I like any kind of hookbill, like parrots and stuff, because every freaking video of them doing anything is the cutest.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did you see the TikTok of that parrot feeding its owner potato chips?
Are you talking about when Iago is stuffing crackers into Jafar's mouth?
Yeah, you've seen it?
Yeah, it's Aladdin, guys. It's not a TikTok.
I saw it on TikTok.
When I went to Costa Rica, which you have also been to separately, the amount of different birds that I saw every day, I was just, all of these are amazing.
That's what I said when I was in the tiki room.
Yeah.
I was like, this is awesome.
These birds are amazing. They're singing.
Their mouths are clacking together like they're made of plastic.
That's the best part about being in the tiki room is like the clacking of the animatronics is so loud that you like, they're like, in the clack room, in the clack room. This has been Bear Ghost Invents, the podcast. Yeah, man, we really should end an episode like that someday.
I love touring. I wish we could do it more. We'll have an announcement on the next leg here pretty soon.
Yeah, stay tuned for those announcements.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. One last thing, I just wanted to thank you guys. You guys are amazing. I can't wait to play for you again. Thank you, Redwood, who doesn't listen to this podcast. I love you so much. I will miss you. Thank you, Sarah in the Safe Word. I know Sarah has listened to at least one episode of this podcast.
Bye.
I love you. This has been Bear Ghost Events, the podcast. Tune in next week. We love you. Bye.
See you next week. Bye. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening. Special thanks to our Kickstarter backers. Next week, we will be discussing Vulture. We'll see you then.